Yes, guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast. We're back in the studio. We haven't had an OG episode where it's just myself and Reese for a little while. It's taken us like 15 minutes to set everything up because it seems as though everything changed, hence the new angle.
Yeah.
Let us know if you like the new close-up angle. You can't see our feet. Sorry for any listeners with a foot fetish. We've both got shoes on.
I click off.
Oh, there you've got sliders on.
I click off.
Don't show it. We'll put that on the Patreon.
Yeah, think about it, guys.
We also, it kind of means that we get to, the wires all look a bit tidier, so hopefully you like it. While I'm here, if you are a new listener or viewer,
because we've had loads.
we have had a lot. First of all, thank you. Second of all, if you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe. You know Harry Greer?
Yeah.
He said he put me on his story with, didn't obviously tag you, but he didn't subscribe. So I messaged him saying, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, please.
And he was like, okay then. So he did. But hopefully he did. He best have done me. So, yeah, thank you to any new listeners, new subscribers, new followers on Instagram. Obviously, we've been posting a little bit more in terms of reels. We fucking love reels. So, yeah, we do appreciate you. We're very close to some pretty cool milestones. So, like nearly at 1,000 subs, 1,000 followers, 1,000 Spotify followers as well. So, any new listeners, viewers, subscribers, followers, etc., we appreciate you. And also, if you could give us a 5-star rating on Spotify, that would be massively appreciated.
Yeah.
That's
do we need to do a disclaimer in this or anything? We don't need to, do we?
It depends what we end up saying. I guess.
It's 2024, guys. We've been upsetting people this year, I guess. The show reviews have been causing a bit of a ruckus, but a positive.
But also
ruckus.
a lot of positivity.
A lot more positive than negativity,
Yeah.
I'd say. And I think, if anything, like it's definitely something that other people are slightly copying or looking upon, thinking, oh, it's a good idea. And it's funny because I said it wasn't like mine or Finn's idea. We both collectively. I was the one who said we should do it on Zoom just the next day. And Finn was like, oh, yeah, we could do. Because we were mentioning it last year about doing show reviews, but the problem is
I
like
said
studio
what
for
I
me.
wanted to do to like take the podcast to the next level was have it as like a bit more of a news show for amateur bodybuilding in the UK.
Yeah, and I think we've kind of like so far we've not achieved it. 'Cause you can't really ever achieve it, but we've definitely got our foothold when it comes to like some of the people that are listening. We're like shit, like they've got big names, good audiences. Cool. And I feel like at the same time, sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, hopefully soon they start sending their physiques in.
Yeah.
Rate your physiques.
Yeah, can we stop these natties that are just like 15 years old that just need more muscle, please?
That's what the majority of our followers would be. If we were to get no, mate, yours as well. If we were to get all of our followers in a room, all the Spotify followers or all the YouTube subscribers, I'd say like 60-70% will be natty.
Yeah.
Relatively young, probably like 18 or 16 to 25.
Yeah, that's probably the age of like. If you think about the people that would apply for coaching, usually what would you say, like probably 16 to 25? Yeah, seems to probably be the sweet spot. But yeah, it's been good, definitely. I think it's been a good start to the year. When was the last time that we had one on our own, like together? Was it about 5-6 weeks ago?
I think, like we said, like the ones in the studio. Obviously, these are always good.
Yeah.
But it's quite good to get a guest on, and we have got an exciting guest on next week. We won't spoil it yet.
Yeah.
And we've got a few in the pipelines, but I think the ones like we were saying before we started filming, we were saying like the rate your physiques, the show reviews, like they're doing pretty well. And obviously the logistics behind it is a lot easier. Like it's just we jump on a Zoom. It doesn't take me long to upload it and stuff. Whereas with this, obviously it takes longer sort of time between us filming and Sam editing it and uploading it and everything. It's usually like a week or two. Yeah. So that's why I think they're doing quite well because they're recent. They're recent and they're sort of what's the word? They're
at the
they're
moment.
Current.
Yeah, they're at that moment of like after a show.
It's fresh.
Yeah, people would like if it wasn't us and it was people like us. I'd put it on when I'm doing my cardio 100%. Or when I'm making a meal. I just whack it on in the background. You know, but the problem is again, people. You know,
I just watch it anyway.
You just watch watch
love it. Love my own voice.
So it's funny. I never listened to a podcast that we've ever done like collectively, but sometimes I like click on just to watch the comments or listen to like view the comments, and I just clicked on the one with.
Why don't you ever comment back?
Why
don't you ever comment back?
Because I just look.
You don't care.
I care about the people that watch us.
I comment back.
Mate, no, the once you're in admin, man, comments
me.
back. That's you!
It's me, guys.
I didn't know that. But I listened to the one with Jakob, so Be Modified, and it was like, I don't know, 30, Jacob, whatever, yeah, it was like 30 minutes in. Jacob. And like, literally, for some reason, like 30 minutes in, I didn't listen to the first 30 minutes. And it was like, you could just tell I was listening to it, I was like, oh, that's a good chat. Like, you know when you
messaged me that
it's
day
vibing well.
When it came out, he messaged me and he was like, I've watched it all.
You watched it all?
Yeah, he messaged me like, watched it all, mate. Really happy with it, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's nice, man. Like, it was good. It was a good chat. That.
Yeah.
Yeah, that episode's done pretty well as well. Like to say, like, no disrespect to him, he's not got a huge following. Like, it's not like a really well-known bodybuilder.
No.
But I think because he's a guy who owns a gym, and
We'll
a
be
lot of
after
people
this year when I fucking nail his prep, get him on stage.
Yeah, it'll be all of a sudden really well-known
Yeah,
bodybuilder.
it'll be a huge bodybuilder.
A lot of people want to know like how you start your own gym, like how you open your own gym, the costs involved, things like that. So
Same
yeah, it
with
was
like
good.
the Conte supplements.
Yeah,
it's
the
funny
Conte
that
one
two
was good.
people have just like that we've had on. I like that. It's literally just like vibes, like vibes and just a bit of luck and like just being in the right sort of place and doing the same
like
sort of thing.
If we got anybody on who's successful or started their own gym or their own business or whatever, like it is literally just a case. It's a bit of a leap of faith.
Yeah,
It's like, right, what do I want to do? Right, let's fucking get after it then. Like, if you think about when we first started coaching or when you first put your first ever Instagram post on, like, you think now, like, I have some clients who are like, I've got a fitness page now, and put their first post on their physique or their first training post on. It's like a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, for us, we do it every day. Like, it's just the norm now. But when you first get into it, it is a bit of a leap of faith, and you just got to think, just fucking do it. Like, and if you end up, again, you don't fail. Like, even if, let's say Conte didn't get to where it is now, he'd have probably learned so much and be doing something else just as good or close to as good. Like, you just learn from it. Yeah. It's like, let's say in years to come, if we weren't to be coaching, like, we'll be doing something else that we're successful at because we've learned from how to build a business.
How to actually,
how to apply yourself every day. You can put it towards anything.
Yeah. No, I think it's one of those. It's like, it's just going for it and thinking, like, we've said it all the time, I'd rather actually go for it than not even try. Because it's very easy to be content and just. I feel like that is again one issue of like not being like. We're not going to say we're fucking stupidly successful.
No, but it's easy.
But it is very easy to be like, oh yeah, you know what? Because like realistically, especially from like a lifestyle standpoint, I'm pretty set. Like I've got a very good life for my age, but that's not. I'm not content with that. But it's very easy to think.
Forever, like...
No, and it's not like a timeline of a coach is not going to be 20. Like there's going to be people. There potentially they can
about it. Like I'd like to think that I'll still be coaching and I'll just be coaching at a higher level and I'll be really experienced at 45 like but I'll have other things as well.
Demographic, the people that will come in would be the people that know you through natural bodybuilding, what you've done and the time spent. But if you were to show that to the 16 to 18 year old, like let's say someone with ridiculous potential, like let's say Josh Campbell last year or Jacob for me, there's not a single chance that they would have gone for us.
No, they'll go for it.
They'll go for somebody who's in good shape, they're young, they're current, you know, they're
be in good shape.
Well, to be fair, I mean, natural hormones like that. You're peaked, buddy.
Oh mate, I'll be enhanced by then.
Oh, you'll be natural bodybuilder. Like you're just gonna. Finn declares Sam. Title of the video: Finn declares he's going on gear just in 15 years.
Yeah, to be fair, I do think like, especially with the fact that me and Shannon aren't wanting kids, like.
That's what you're fucking gear.
No, like in the long term, like once I get to the point where I'm just not wanting to compete within probably bodybuilding at all. Anyway, like it.
No.
Yeah, I've given up. But now, like, I think probably I've said before, like by the time I'm probably like 40 plus, why would I just like accept that my natural hormones are going to drop when I can easily run TRT and do it in a healthy way and feel pretty good for it?
What you wouldn't want to do a TRT plus?
Oh, I'll do a TT TRT.
yeah. Remember that we need to be careful. When it's TTRT, it was like 250 milligrams. Yeah. That's not really TRT.
I actually think that's what most people do, though. Like, most people's TRT is 200 plus. It's like it's not really TRT.
No, it's an enhanced cruise. But if you were to go down that route, would you actually push up bound? Would you be like, I'm just going to do 500? No, so what? You'd never go above a TRT range?
I doubt it. Like at that point, I'll be 40 plus. I'm not going to be like, I want to get massive now. Like it's not as if I'm going to do it to compete. It would literally to do it to just basically make sure my quality of life is higher as I get a bit older. Yeah.
And your quality of life probably better then is that. So,
your quality of life's down now.
Oh, is everything fine? Dick working?
Yeah, of course it's working.
How long has it been working for?
Ages.
Really? Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. To be fair, you did your bloods. What was it, like 17 and was it?
No, it was like
14?
It was 12, I think. It was 8 and then 12. If I do it again now, it'll probably be like 15, 16.
Yeah.
I reckon. It's not. I wouldn't say I'm. Yeah, well, I'm definitely not at like peak. Like.
What, peak hormones?
Yeah, but I also didn't get my bloods done at peak. Like, I've had my blood done when I've like been in a good spot. But like I remember I remember there were points like in my off season last time, obviously like before the pre-prep and everything, where I was like I could almost like even just like facial hair, like I was growing facial hair a lot quicker and like I would like my sex drive was a lot higher. But like even then, I'd have been like 20, low 20s max. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been like anything above that. But yeah, like I'm absolutely sound now. Like I think, like we said, I think we said it on the last podcast. Like I still have those tendencies where I fall into like the thought process of prep, and like I'll put things
because it's been like 6 months.
No, but you know, I don't mean it. I think you're thinking of it in a different way. Like I'm not thinking of it in terms of like I can't eat this or I'm prepping or like I don't think I'm prepping or anything like that. But it's like I'll find myself thinking how I would think when I was prepping, when I was digging a lot, and I'd like have a thought process in my head of like, right, I've got to get that done so I can like sit and do nothing for the last quarter of an hour of the day or half an hour. Whereas now I'm like I'm happy to just work a bit later and stuff. Like it's absolutely fine as long as I still like I'm switching off. But I still find myself thinking a little bit like that, and at times I'm just like, it's weird that like, but it's also not that weird because I was doing it for probably 9 months. Like so, it's still less time out of the prep than it was in the prep.
Yeah, no, I get
and I'm not at like peak body weight. I'm not on peak food. Like I wouldn't expect to be.
Yeah, the same
as I was peak off season.
As you say, like
another 45 pounds heavier.
Yeah, like workload is so important. Like it's literally a case where Sanaa, when we went to Barcelona last week, she was like, "God, you're completely different when you're not training."
Yeah, I'm a different person.
And I was like, "What do you mean?" I don't notice it. And she's like, "No, you're just like a lot more talkative and stuff." Because usually it's like she'll come in and I'm like, "Yeah, I've got 18 things to do." I'm in my head, like even in the car. I have to plan, like, if I'm not on my phone, I'm like, what do I need to do when I'm... It's scary, but it's like, it's how you have to live.
For, obviously, we put that reel up the other day about, like, our bodybuilding relationships abusive.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they are in the sense of the bodybuilding aspect. I'd say, for us, in the sense of just workload. Like, because, like, even tonight, like, so, I've obviously been working, like, I'll get up before Shannon, I'll work all day, go and train, get home, or do the podcast, get home, and like I've still got form clips that I need to get back to that I want to get back to, otherwise I'll be behind tomorrow. That'll stress me out. So it's like I'll get home and I'll be like, "You're right, you had a good day," and we'll have a 2-minute chat, and I'm like, "Right, I need to crack on." Yeah, like I can't remember the last time that, apart from when, like you say, when like it's a holiday or something, where we actually just had like a chat. Where
Sanaa said to me in the car, "I feel like I haven't seen you all day," and I was like,
"Well, you haven't."
Like the second I wake up, it's like work.
Exactly. Like, and I wouldn't want it any other way, because then I'd feel like I'm being lazy and I'd feel like my business is going backwards. Like I want to provide the best service that I can, but also like that comes with sacrifices. Like I'd rather be a really fucking good coach and be really like tentative to my clients and have the discipline and like the sort of time management that I have. And also it means that you appreciate your time off more. So like when we went to Dublin, like it was 2 days in Dublin. It's just Dublin. It's not great, but it was class because we actually like had a really good laugh. We like did loads of stuff together, just walking around, chatting like the whole time. Like it was amazing, because we don't usually get to do that, and I didn't have to be on my phone. I still went on my phone every now and again just to check like if prep clients have messaged or anything. But yeah, I remember saying to you before, you know, that time when I went to the Amalfi Coast for Shannon's birthday. That was at the end of my pre-prep. It was right at the end. And I was literally like completely different. Like, I was still working because I had like Miles and Jack Buff and that prepping. So I was still doing like prep check-ins, but other than that, like not doing check-ins for a week. That's the first time I've ever not done work, because like even now, usually when we go away, we get ahead, don't we?
Yeah, but that day itself, that ruins you.
You do 2 days worth of check-ins, and you're doing like 35 check-ins.
And it's like by the end of it, you're like the following day, your head's ruined. It takes you 2 days to recover.
Like sometimes as well, I'll do that, and then like when I get back, I've got 2 days. So I'll say to people Thursday check-ins, or let's say Friday's check-ins, I'll say I'll do on Thursday, and then like Saturday's check-ins, I'll tell them I'll do when I get back on Sunday, or like the Monday. Let's say if you're away for 3-4 days. So it doesn't like you end up being busier around it. But yeah, that was the first time when I went to the Amalfi Coast. It was Shannon's 30th, so I was like, I'm going to actually just give her that time. And like it's like you're a different person. It's mental.
Yeah, when I was in New York, but then because it was so intense, like that was the only time that I've taken like direct time off. Like that was like, it was so intense. I was like probably battered from just how walking around and stuff.
Vegas, obviously,
it was still artificial as anything.
Vegas was so like draining. Time, like the time zone difference and the fact that it's just bright all the time.
Yeah.
Like
You walk
that
out.
first night was so weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like we got from the airport. We were all tired, weren't we? Like
Yeah.
and then we'd walk
It
to
was
the
like
hotel.
10 o'clock, wasn't it? It was 10 o'clock, and we
were ready for bed. Like,
yeah, definitely. What would that be time in the UK? 4, 5?
yeah, it was like 3-4 a.m.
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. So yeah, we got in. And
We were
then-
like, well, we'll just go to bed. But then when like we'd driven through the city
Yeah,
and we'd seen the lights, and we were like, we'll just go out.
yeah. So Josh goes to bed, and we all, like me, Sam, and Finn, went just for a bit of an explore. And then like just the amount of like stimulus, because we're walking through these. I think we walked through the casino, didn't we, all the way to the end?
Yeah, it was
to
a
the street.
long walk as well.
And we like got to the end, and it was like all this like bright light. Like in the casinos, I'm convinced they pump it with like fresh.
They do.
Like,
I think they do pump it with oxygen.
air.
There's no
Yeah.
clocks in there.
Yeah, everything's just like noise, numbers. And I remember like it was literally, it got to like maybe 11 o'clock. So bear in mind, this is like what, we're 8 hours behind. So it's like 6, 7 a.m. We hadn't
We felt
slept at
more
all.
awake.
Yeah, we've literally been travelling for like a whole day, and we were just like, we feel fine, feel amazing. Like,
Yeah, it was weird.
and then Finn was like, let's go get food. So
Yeah, we went-
yeah,
where did
we
we go?
went
Oh, we
Shake
got-
Shack. No, it
yeah.
wasn't Shake Shack.
No, it
Yeah,
was.
Shake Shack. Yeah, it was
Shake
really
Shack
good
first
food.
night, and then we went and I got that like white
Yeah.
Reese's cookie thing.
Finn was
To
so
be fair, it wasn't
disappointed in my
great.
cookie. I got like just the most, like just a simple
Yeah.
chocolate cookie. I do like a milk chocolate like chip cookie.
Mate, I took like 15 minutes to pick something, didn't I?
I remember you looking around going, oh,
Times,
yeah.
and I was saying this to Shannon the other day, there's like things that I think back to the prep, and I'm like, fucking, it's crazy what it
Yeah,
does
yeah,
to you
it was
mentally.
fun.
Like,
Yeah.
but it is like,
Yeah.
it does do it. Like the prep McFlurry thing.
Yeah.
Like there was a time Shannon was saying to me, like, do you remember we were driving around and you were like, I want to get one, because
Yeah.
it was after one of the shows that I'd planned in within my calories. I was like, I'm going to have a 180 calorie mini Oreo
prep
McFlurry. But every McDonald's was closed, or we
Yeah.
couldn't find one, and it was like the end of the world in my
Yeah.
head. I was like, now I think, what the fuck is wrong
Yeah.
with you? Like,
I
if that was a
remember-
client, I'd be like, get a fucking
Yeah.
grip. But like,
Miss
I
it or
needed
get
someone
someone
to
else.
tell me that.
Yeah.
Like, but Shannon didn't
No,
say
she
get a
didn't
fucking
understand.
grip. Like, and I didn't obviously have like someone to say just get a
Yeah.
grip.
I think like
I
it
needed
does
that.
skew your head. I personally think, I think you agree. I don't think I was as like far gone as you, but there's still things. I remember when on the way back from, it was actually a year ago yesterday.
You see the photos every morning on
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah, it was a year ago
Peak.
yesterday that I went to Liverpool v Spurs, where Jota got a last minute winner, and on the way back,
Good
like,
old days.
hmm?
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old days where Liverpool could win a game. To be fair, we actually were awful last year, but Jota got a last minute winner, really good game, and it was rest day, and it was like, oh, go and get a Five Guys or whatever, and the whole way home there wasn't a single Five Guys, and I remember being like, oh my god,
What am I going to do?
I'm going to have to drive an hour this way. And I think I literally drove like with my mum like for 45 minutes total extra. When in reality, I could have just been like, I'll just go home and have a different food meal. Or I'll just have, instead of a
Or
fucking
get a
Five
Nando's,
Guys, I'll just
like-
get something else
Yeah.
that's a relatively normal time. But I was like,
It's
you know,
got to be a Five
I need
Guys.
it to be a Five Guys.
Yeah.
I need it to be the exact same as I
It's
had
got to
last
be
time.
1,000 calories plus Five Guys.
Yeah, it's not 1,000 car and plus a Five Guys on top. It's not a Tom Hanks peak, is it? So,
It is funny what it does to you. Like,
yeah. You don't realise in the moment.
But that's what I mean in terms of those kind of tendencies. Now and again, I find myself like switching into that about like
Like taking 15 minutes to choose
no,
what way you
not
have
necessarily. No, mate, no chance. Not necessarily about food, but like about
Yeah, routine structure.
yeah. Like so, like if Shannon says like, "Oh, do you fancy doing this?" Like I'll instead of just being like, "Yeah," or
Yeah.
being like, "Oh no, I can't." It's like, "Oh my god, can I?" Like what,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
Yeah,
and then I like almost like stress about it. I'm like, why am I stressing? Like just
Yeah.
either fit it in or just say
Don't do
I'm
it.
too busy.
Yeah.
Like where like and I think as well because of like towards the end of the prep and realizing how I was beating, I was then trying to be like so far the other way
Yeah.
that I was like saying yes to everything and making more time.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like trying to find that middle ground,
Yeah.
which obviously I have done, like definitely a lot better.
Yeah.
But I still find myself like having to like snap out of it or think like you're still thinking a bit like you were before.
Yeah.
But hardly ever, like maybe once every couple of weeks or something.
Yeah. I definitely think by the time we're both retired, we're going to be just mental fucking nutcases.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to be ruined, guys. Like, we're doing this podcast and we're just stressed out constantly.
You learn more every time. You
Yeah.
get better at it, don't you? Better at managing it. Like even now, like, obviously I wouldn't prep this year, but let's say I was,
Yeah.
I'd manage it a lot better. Like
Yeah.
likewise you would, like for
Yeah.
your last time. Like
To be fair, I thought last time, I remember getting to the first show and I was like, I feel good. Like, I
feel
feel,
with that.
I wasn't fat.
Backwards.
My back wasn't fat at all, mate. My back was...
Well, you can't say it wasn't fat at all. It was fat. Through the lower back. Your lower back was still fat. When
Is
you,
it-
when
no,
you did your
my-
physique shows, your back wasn't all the way in.
No, it wasn't all the way in, but it wasn't any fatter. In my opinion, for the first show, I probably had the best back on stage. Way better than the guy that beat me. His back was awful. His abs were good.
Yeah, but your back was fat in comparison to theirs.
No, mate. If you look at the photos, I think you have this agenda. Like, my back was. If you were to look at the PCA video, mate, my back's fucking. I was the leanest on the stage by a country mile in the physique, in the classic and bodybuilding shows.
That was the end.
And
of
then
the season.
even the men's physique ones, my front was the leanest out of I think everyone I competed against. My back was just probably 20% softer.
Your front wasn't leaner than the guys in physique.
In the PCA show, and I'd say the Two Bros one, I was probably sharper through the midsection, the obliques, maybe not abs, because my abs are a bit shit. But I'd say if you were to look at that,
especially like the guys that the PCA, the first show, like, they were just small compared to you.
Yeah.
So you're going to look leaner because you're bigger.
Yeah.
Like, but you probably weren't actually leaner. Like,
but I was leaner. This is the weird thing. Like, I was leaner definitely than the first. Like, I was just a lot fuller than the last time that but the first time I ever competed, the first timers, I was leaner last year than I was then. By quite a considerable distance. If you look at actual condition, I was just a lot fuller. So I didn't have that sort of men's physique look.
PCA kind of.
Yeah, PCA look. And that's again like
you were probably too full for that.
Oh, I definitely probably was. Yeah, like
and still fat.
Definitely still fat. No, I think, mate, honestly, if you were to look back at the photos, you actually look at you almost think.
But it's because you're in that. It's like when I look at my photos now, I'm like, fucking hell.
Mate, I remember genuinely taking my top off at the the last show, thinking to myself like, fuck yeah, I'm fat. Yeah. And then I saw that his name's like Wubos or whatever. He's a PCA pro. And I remember once Tom Hames said to me, he's the most conditioned guy ever at PCA shows. And backstage, he was getting his tan done the same time as me. And I looked at his hamstrings. I was like, my hamstrings are sharper than this. I've said this before, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm fine condition-wise. But in the moment, like again, if we were to get up the PCA video, you'd look at, let's say, even like my lower back and go, mate, your lower back's like looks.
Sam, get it up.
Yeah, it looks like there's a video where I'm pumping up, and I saw it, and my lower back's like fucking lean, like peeled.
Yeah, it is.
But in the moment, you think to yourself, because it's like you hyper-analyse the
well,
slightest thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same as like, for example, for the first timer show, I was constantly, so this is 2021, thinking to myself afterwards, so flat, looked shit, even though it was a good result. But for PCA, it's probably what they like. And again, like, it's how bodybuilding's all about. It's almost like no matter what, the next time I compete, I'll be a fucking hell of a lot better. I know I will be, but I can guarantee there's going to be things like I go, fucking hell, even that looks a bit now. I didn't hit this shot properly. Yeah, definitely. Problem, mate, being 280. You know, it's actually hard being.
You need to stop giving that excuse.
It's not an excuse, but it's hard to. You know the
Atlantis machine on like the top setting, like, oh, I'm just too big.
The range of motion was fine. Watch the video. It's like the anti-Joshua video. Have you seen it? He's like, I'm heavy. I'm 18 stone. It's hard for me. So I was gonna be like to him, be like, it's hard. I'm heavy.
No, like in terms of posing, like obviously we've said before, some poses when you're fat, like peak off season, even like natural bodybuilders when they're
there's
peak
no
off
chance
season,
I'm getting into a side try.
A side tricep a lot of shit. But your posing could improve. Mine could improve.
Yeah.
Most people's could improve.
I need to do your quarter turns.
My quarter turns are sound now.
I don't know about that.
They're sound now. They're better than yours. You can't rotate.
Mate, my quarter turns on stage were a fair bit better than yours. I'd have you on a quarter turn posing wise. I'd give you other poses. My quarter turns are probably the only thing that I was actually okay at.
Yeah,
because I was so small. I was so small and flat.
Yeah.
I was so skinny that I could just hit it perfectly. Now I can't.
I feel like my quarter turns towards the end of my prep were sound. But at the start, they were poor.
Yeah. The front, like, push forward.
It was half an RDL.
Yeah. Anyway, less about that. Actually, let's give a bit of a positive update, because we're actually doing quite well. How are you now, mate? In line of other, like, not post-prep or prep or whatever, training-wise, all good, other than you're like, I was going to say a bad word that we have to cut out, other than your fucked left shoulder.
You can say fuck, can
I wasn't going to say that.
No.
I was going to say a worse word.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I had an MRI scan on it, and it came back as the ACJ on my left side, so my left shoulder is basically just a little bit battered.
ACBJ.
Yeah, my ACBJ. Yeah, what is it? It's like, I can't remember the actual name for it.
What? The ACJ?
Yeah, something, acromial joint.
Yeah.
I can't remember the actual words for it.
Yeah.
But basically, it's a joint within my shoulder.
Yeah.
I think there's more to it than that, because the issue is like in my back, like top left side, like below my scap in my rib cage, where it's like constantly just like clicking, and yeah. But then also my left shoulder's really weak. Like I did some testing with Aaron, and he was like checking my right side versus my left side, and my left side's so weak. I can feel it when I'm training as well. Like stability wise, it's so bad. Like I was saying to you, obviously I've not done a dumbbell press for years, but like I've actually got it in my head that I'll never do a dumbbell press again. Yeah. Like I just don't think I will. Like, and if it's even if it's amazing, I just still don't think I will. Like, which is quite sad. Like, I have clients doing them.
What does that mean doing a hack squat? I couldn't imagine being like, I'm gonna go balls to the wall on a hack squat.
No.
You know, I don't really care. It's just like, oh,
no, but it's like, yeah, it's almost
it'd be
like,
nice to, it'd be nice to be able to do a hack without like knee pain.
Yeah. It's like when I have clients who are just like injury free pretty much, and they just train like as hard as they want and do everything that they want. It's like, well, I wish I could do that. It's a shame, but my own fault really. But yeah, I'm doing like rehab work on it at the minute, which is like, it's almost like it's going to get worse before it gets better because it flares it up. So like, I'll be doing my like external rotations and stuff, and it just like flares up the rotator cuff. So I can't do it pre-workout. I could do it before legs, but I can't do it before pull or push because it just ruins the session. So I've been doing it like in the evenings, because
on the blinds,
like after I've on the blind push down. After I've done it, it actually feels alright. But then like the next day in the morning, like I can tell I've done it, and it's like flared up, and like I was saying to you today, like my forearm on this left side is battered, like from doing this rotation. Like, so when I'm doing any kind of pressing or bicep work, tricep work, like it just doesn't feel great. But other than that, I'm sound.
When I asked how's things, and you're like, oh, awful.
No,
Shoulders.
like to be fair, like my training,
everything else is fine.
My training's really good. I just have to work around it. Like before, it wasn't impacting push; it was impacting pull. So like push and legs were great, but pull was like meh. At the minute, it seems to be it's impacting push, but it's not impacting pull really. Yeah. And obviously legs is sound, but say legs is sound, but like I still have to be smart. Like I can't do a dumbbell RDL or any kind of RDL really. Yeah. But yeah, it is what it is. Like working around it, doing the rehab work. That's all I can do. Staying positive, as I always say that to my clients. You can, people like when it comes to injuries, people get like so caught up in it. It's all they think about constantly. It's like it's just gonna make it worse. Like if all I think about is the pain that I'm in, it just makes it worse. Like if
you're
I'm
looking for it.
Yeah, like do you remember in the past? Like in the past, I've been in sessions like in between every set, I'll have like the massage gun on my shoulder, or like it's like it just makes it worse. Like just do what you can. If you have to go lighter, go lighter. If you have to work in a higher rep range or change the exercise, like then so be it. Yeah. I actually got a question about rotator cuff issues, so we'll go on to the questions in a minute. Yeah. But yeah, otherwise training's good. 190 pounds has been solidified. Feel good. Condition's decent at 190. It's not amazing, but it's sound. Push up to 200 in the next like 3-4 months. And then diet for Cape Verde.
When are you going?
December. So I'll do like.
Is it hot there?
Yeah, it'll be. I think it'll be like high 20s.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
No.
I'll do. I'll probably do a really quick mini cut. Yeah. Might do it a little bit before I go, like 2 months before I go. Do like.
So you imagine you do it before you go. You know,
no, but I mean, I'm not going to do it like 6 weeks and then I go. Like, I might do it like 10 weeks before for 6 weeks, and then have a month. Before I
bring food up. Yeah. I quite like that because it means like you don't have to. Again, you're not going to like be able to.
I'll try and do it, like but you
can have a period of like high days, or just bring out like a little bit. You know, it's not loads of diet.
Like almost like a metabolic improvement.
Yeah, and then you can go away and you're in a much better spot. If you just nosedive,
control, food focus under control.
Yeah, if you just nosedive into a holiday, it can. You're not going to be an idiot, but there's a higher likelihood that you'll come back and you'll be like 3 or 4 kilos up, and you'll be scared, thinking like, oh shit, I've gained 8 pounds, 9 pounds.
You can also just go on holiday feeling absolutely trashed and you don't even enjoy it. It takes you like the first 4 days to recover from the diet, so it's not worth it. Yeah. So yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, fair enough.
What about you?
All is good. Fat, I am. I'm 280. I went to bed, mate, the other day. 200. Honestly, I slept, bro. It's mental. Yeah, crazy. Without you, you weren't there. Sorry. Yeah, I slept with Sanaya. Didn't sleep with
your mum?
No, not my mum.
Usually your mum.
Yeah, it's usually my mum, but this time it's actually Sanaya. I just hated it. Literally, I built a pillow fortress in the middle of us, and it was just like, don't talk to me. I'm joking, Sanaya. I love you lots. Yeah, I went to bed, and I still occasionally weigh myself. Like, you know, like after a leg day, because I'll be like,
I do that.
Shouldn't weigh yourself. Good one. Shouldn't weigh yourself post legs, guys. Or you shouldn't weigh yourself ever. Only fasted. If you ever step on the scale away from that, it's stupid. And I was 131.3 kilos. I was like, what the fuck? I like went in pounds, like 288. I was like, that's pretty sick. But I always end up waking up lighter. So I was like, the heaviest I've seen is like a 128.9, which is like 283, 282. So that's peak weight, which is pretty sound. I'm like 3 months into this push now, which is pretty cool.
Gained pretty quickly, hasn't it?
It's been a weird one. It's like been pretty. It's almost been in like 2 phases. So like I had that initial. I got down. My lowest was like 111 to 12. I then put in like GH insulin back in, and I gained 1 kilo a day for 7 days with a 50 carb bump up, which is like, I was like quite happy with, because I was like, oh, I don't look any fatter, I'm not fuller.
You just look very watery then.
Yeah, I just looked really, I remember like I'm not fatter then, but I looked more watery then than I do now, which is weird.
Well, it makes sense with that change.
Yeah, like, and it was like just literally a good amount of water came on, and then I like held like 121 to 122 for like, because in the meantime like androgens were being worked back up, so it's a case where like pretty much I got to, I think it was like 6 weeks after, and I hadn't gained any weight. Like it literally, my scale was like, my log was like the same, it went up, and then it was just like that, and then I was like, okay, cool, a bit of a food bump up, and like so far it's been like really responsive. Like I'm at 800 carb. It's like 5-7 calories, so 800 carb, 414 protein, including, still doing the 1 AM shakes. Have you bottled it?
Given up on it.
Poor. I do it occasionally, whenever
mainly because I don't wake up in the night.
It's the super supreme sleep and O protocol. So yeah, so like 414 protein. I just split up, like I basically I have two. So I do 40 grams of whey in the night, and then I have 40 grams of whey for my morning meal. But if I don't have that, I just do it all in one. So it's just the same. Like, if I haven't had it, I'm just like, boop, sound simple. So yeah, so 414 protein, fats at like 63, but I've actually pulled it down recently to like 55. I've taken out. I was having beef, like 5% beef burgers with like a bagel.
Put it on your story saying like, oh, don't give in to weak
that was cringy.
That was
yeah, no, I took it out for chicken. I took
it out the day after. He's put a post up saying,
mate, it was awful.
Don't listen to the weak side.
Yeah, don't listen to the weak side. That was a gimpy story. It was intentionally. I was intentionally being gimpy with that story.
No, the gimpy part is that you took it out the day after.
It was awful. I tried to have it the following day. I was like throwing up almost. So yeah, that was for some reason that meal was just like, it digests fine, but you know when your head just doesn't want to eat it. Like you've probably not got just chicken. So a little bit less fats.
Just chicken on its own, yeah? So you change the beef and bagels to just chicken.
Just chicken, yeah, just protein. No, bagels and chicken. So yeah, but it was weird because
I can't think about worse than having I can. There's a lot worse things, but like
I can imagine oats of like having 100 carb in it. From oats, I'd be like, I would literally shit myself in the bed.
Go down like
I would shit the bed. Like tonight would be like, she'd be like, oh my god, you shut the bed 3 times, on twice. Reese, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. It is weird, isn't it? Because like,
do you remember that time? Sorry, I interrupted. I was at Sania's.
You actually did shit yourself.
This was ages ago. For any new listeners,
we've said it on the podcast.
I've said it before. I was at Sania's and I was stood in a doorway for some reason, and like I must have gone to the toilet like 4 times in the night. And every time I woke up, I kept having like a wet arse. And I was like it wasn't actual shit. And I just stood in the doorway. She woke up and she goes, "Everything okay?" And I was like, "Yep." Just running to the toilet again. So bad. That was last year. That was
it was fine.
Yeah, it was everything's fine. And then I didn't tell her until I mentioned it on the podcast. I told you, and then she was like, "You shat yourself. Why didn't you tell me?" And I was like, "Didn't want to."
Didn't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd tell her now, straight away?
No, not when she's sleeping. I just go, "I'm alright."
Yeah.
And then probably in the morning. But the thing is, I actually think I forgot.
I'd tell. Shannon would find that.
No, but I think I forgot. Like I don't think it was like. I think by the time I probably woke up, I was just sort of like working, and I didn't think about telling her that I shat myself.
You were just embarrassed.
just cried myself to sleep again.
What was I saying then before you interrupted?
Beef burgers, chicken.
Yeah, like
you couldn't think of anything worse.
Nah, I could, but like you were saying, like you now, if you were to try and have oats, like you'd probably struggle. Like I feel like I could. I'm still at that point where I could probably eat anything, like, and it would digest okay. Like, obviously, not anything. Like obviously, I'll stick to foods that I know digest well and that I enjoy and stuff. But it is weird. Like you get to that point within an off season where you have to be really selective with food.
Man,
like I haven't been in that position for ages.
It was so weird. It was like, why can't I'm not hungry, but why can't I eat it? Like I literally at the first
that rejection. Like,
it was literally like my body was just like.
I used to have that. My last meal used to be yogurt and granola and whey and like berries and dark chocolate. And I literally remember, and I was like, when I was like 230, I literally was just like not throwing up back in the bowl, but like I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, it was just a slog.
Yeah.
You know, where most meals, like at this point, again, like appetite's never going to be amazing at like almost 6,000 calories. But it's like most meals go down, and it's not like it's like a chore. It's just like, oh, it's time for a meal. But like, I was like, okay, not ideal. So yeah, I've taken that out for chicken.
It is just based on choices, though, isn't it? Like, I honestly think you can, like, again, I've not been in that position in a while where I've like had to overthink it. Yeah. But even so, like, I have 200 carbs in my post-workout, and it digests so well. It's just sushi, rice, and chicken. Yeah. Like, that's it. It's so easy. Whereas, like, I'll have clients like trying to get 200 carbs in, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm having like 4 bagels. I'm like, no wonder. Like, I feel horrendous having 4 bagels. Plus, you're having like 30 grams of trace protein from 4 bagels. Like, no wonder you feel like shit. And then you're trying to have your whey on top, or you're having like chicken on top. Like, just so dry. Like, that you've prepped them for in the car after the gym. Like, I can't think of anything worse than that.
I remember once doing that post-workout. Like, it might have been maybe like 2022. I had my post-workout, and for some reason, I can't remember, like, I didn't have cereal or something. I was in a rush. So I was like, I should have bagels. And I maybe I had like fucking, like I said, 4 or 5 bagels. I genuinely, I don't think I even finished it. I was like, that's horrible. Can't do it. But it's food choices, like, especially in an off season, more simplistic things like rice, like tortilla wraps, like things like that. That for me personally, like sourdough, I always digest quite well. I've had that in recently.
And it's very individualistic, isn't it? Like you say, like sourdough, like that meal that you put on your story, there's just loads of sourdough. Like I couldn't eat that. Like I'd be like bored of it. Yeah, there's a lot though. Like when then I said to you, remember we had this conversation in the car? Yeah. I have like 75 carbs through yogurt and fruit. Yeah. And you're like, what? Yeah. Like, whereas for me, like that's sound. Yeah. It's like a big bowl of yogurt and fruit, but I really enjoy it. I have like 100 grams of apple, 100 grams of banana, 100 grams of mango, 250 grams of yogurt.
Oh, I like mango. Yeah, I really like mango. Do you? Yeah, I love mango. It tastes just like mango. It's really like mango. I like mango.
What's that from?
Actually, I'll mention it. Well, there's a guy on TikTok, I'll find it. I used to coach him, and he did a drink review on TikTok.
Mango Hard?
No, I mean, it's like 2020.
Vintage.
And he goes like, Reese 10. And he sips it and he goes,
tell it change.
New code, guys, not Reese 10, it's Reese 10 at Conte Sports. Use the code, not Finn, Reese 10. Use mine, please. He drank it. I need it, yeah. Finn's I'm not in the top 10, guys, come on. Use it. And he drank, and he literally, his review was, oh, tastes just like mango.
Remember Danny,
I like mango. I really like mango.
Remember Danny Herford? What's the Danny H Fitness? And he was like, tastes just like biscuits.
It's just like biscuits. Oh my god.
It was the biscuit.
It was just such a bad. It was like mango. I really like mango. And guys, if you like mango, you'll like it because it's a mango drink.
Who was it?
I remember Connor, Big Man Connor.
Oh, Big Man Connor.
Yeah, Big Man. You surprised?
Big Man Connor.
No. Mango review. Connor, if anyone sends you this, please, mate, send us, please, the mango drink review. I think it was like a C4 or like something like that back in the day. It was class, bro. I saved it on TikTok, so I probably could just go back.
Sonny tagged me in a story today with his ghost drink. It was
full calorie.
No, 0 calorie, 0 caffeine, like strawberry kiwi.
0 caffeine? What, ghost?
Yeah, it's like an electrolyte drink.
Okay.
It wasn't like a monster one. It wasn't a caffeinated drink. But he sent me it, and I was like, why are you sending me that, mate? Like, but then I also think, like, I was posting every day the monster I was having. Like, it is like,
hey guys, it's a lovely day. Raining, pissing it down. Hey guys, it's a lovely day.
Yeah, I said every day was like a beautiful day. Mate, at that point, I needed to tell myself that. Like, otherwise I was just gonna kill myself. Like, I had to tell myself it was a beautiful day.
It's raining. Like, Finn's like curbed his car the day before, had a borderline breakdown, and then he's like, "It's a beautiful day."
Beautiful day. As soon as I go off the story, oh, I hate my life.
I just want this to be over.
No, to be fair, like, that was when I was nowhere near as battered.
No.
Like, the point when I was battered, I wasn't going on Instagram at all. Like, I was still posting, but it was literally post, get off it.
Yeah.
I remember there were points where I was posting 3 times a day. Yeah. I was posting in the morning like a client post, middle of the day client post, evening, or maybe in the morning like a physique post, middle of the day client post, evening training clips. Yeah. And I have a 45-minute timer on my Instagram, and I didn't even break that. Yeah. And I was literally just posting those 3 times, and like I hardly was on it at all. Because I just didn't care about anything apart from just like do my steps,
surviving,
do my cardio, like make sure I train, pose, eat. Like,
speaking about the Sunny thing, this is a random question. What do you think is the one thing that people fuck up with calorie-wise without realising in a prep? Because like you mentioned earlier about Jacob, so I have a client who's on like a good amount of food, and you're like, he must be on it. And I'm convinced that, again, like maybe not all our clients, but some of them.
No, we said the other day.
Yeah, what would you say like is the number one? I know it's a random question, but I did think about like, you know how someone would tag you in a drink, and it's like, bro, it's got 100 calories in. Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
I'd say the number one thing would be
fluid or sauce.
Probably like sauces, like not tracking their sauces and just using more and more. Their seasoning, like they'll go from using like a little bit of seasoning to using like a full pack, and that full pack's probably got like a couple of 100 calories in, and they don't realise they're adding that in. Even other things like, and again it's so small, but like they're going through 2 packets of chewing gum a day, which is sugar free, but it's not calorie free. No. They're going through, let's say,
Vimto.
Yeah, Vimto, or like even like the Volvic flavoured drinks. They're like
they only have like 7 calories.
No, but exactly, like it's still
White Monster
more
like,
than
15.
Yeah, it's still more than what like you maybe think you're having. And it's not that you can't do that, like you can, but it gets to the point where it is a bit excessive. Like I think as well, like
that blow up pump, 0.1 carb.
The zero like the 0 calorie sugar free syrups and things like that. Yes, you're not gonna gain loads of fat from them, but the impact that they can have from a digestive standpoint, like
stresses it out.
It can cause digestive stress, which can then cause sort of bowel irregularity, which then means you're not dropping the next day, which then causes more stress. And it's like, it's not that you've gained loads of fat from that; it's the fact that that's then caused that stress. You've not even gained the fat from the stress.
No,
it's probably just masking the fat loss. You've maybe gained a bit of fluid, but it also then impacts your habits and your routine the next few days, because you're then stressing more, which might then change what you do. You might then think, oh, I'm going to dig harder, and then you dig harder, and then your performance is worse, and you look worse, and then you're depressed about how you look, and that has an impact on your sleep. And it's like, it's just a snowball
But the one
effect,
thing you have to do if you do this, just when you wake up, it's a beautiful morning, guys.
Make sure you tell everyone it's a beautiful day.
Yeah, you'll be fine. No, I think it was a good point, because like it's something that people don't really like notice. Josh did a reel when we filmed with Sam the other day about like things that you don't realise, and obviously it's not to prep clients. But like, there are things that you like add up. If you were to imagine 2 monsters a day, pretty easy to prep. Like 1 in the morning, 1 pre-workout. It's what, 20 calories, 30 calories. You have Vimto for 3 2-litre bottles of water. That's probably 50 calories, 40 calories. You might have, like you said, pack or 2 of chewing gums. That's going to be 20 calories on top of that.
Yeah. Seasoning, sauces.
Yeah, seasoning, sauces.
Like, extra.
Yeah. So basically, I was saying off camera actually, I was having Maggi seasoning, which is really low calorie. And like, I had it on my rest days had 2 veg meals. Like with chicken, just veg actually, just 2 veg. Yeah, that's actually looked like a mental physique athlete. I lost all my muscle. I just dieted off my muscle by not eating protein. I had 2 veg and chicken meals, and then I think I had it like, I started having it on like fucking lettuce and shit, like my eggs, but on the side, like it was weird. And it worked out. I was still tracking it, but it worked out to be like 50, 60 calories a day, which when you're eating like 1,500, 1,600 calories.
What season is it?
It's like, do you ever have Maggi? Like, it's like the soy sauce.
Things.
Oh,
Maggie's a brand.
Oh, is it? It's like the soy sauce.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, because like, you know, a lot of seasonings, the actual nutritional information on the back is about a recipe that it tells you to make on the back.
Oh, fair enough.
So like, it'll say like, for example, you'll look at the back of a packet of
oats with milk.
Yeah, so like if you look at the packet of oats, it'll say based on this recipe, or pasta. It'll say based on like a certain recipe. It's like, or like even like a pasta sauce.
Yeah.
It tells you what it is on its own, but you have to look for it. If you look just straight on the normal one, it's like based on this recipe we recommend. So like, the amount of times I have clients message me like, is this seasoning alright? It says it's like 200 calories per like 50 grams, and I'm like, no, like that's the recipe. Let's have a look at
carbonara.
Yeah, honestly, have a look at what it actually is.
Do you have carbonara?
It's based on like this hunter's chicken meal. It's like, well, if you're having that, then yeah, you're gonna probably go over a few calories.
Imagine if someone just got it and they were like, bought this season, this is how they told me to make it. They're just having loads of
how I've got to use it.
They're just like, hey mate, I've been having this seasoning, but this is the meal. You're like,
I would say as well, like, when it comes to like, you don't know how accurate people actually are.
Yeah.
Like, are people actually tracking?
They see 50 gram of protein, they just do 2 scoops. That could one day be 14, another day be 70.
Yeah. Like, for us, using the scale takes 5 seconds. We just use it for every meal. Yeah. But for a lot of other people, like they probably don't use it.
Sanaya in 21, 23, I don't know what it was. She used to have like
probably
this like low, probably both, this low calorie mayo. And I used to say to her, like, no wonder your food gets low, because she would literally be like, and Tom just said, just a bit of low carb mayo. And I'm like, that's getting bigger every week you come round.
You can't say to people, just a bit. Yeah. Because just a bit when your head is fucked in a prep is loads.
Yeah.
Like, I was weighing out, and again, you'd be the same, weighing out the 0 sugar, 0 calorie, or well, it's like 0 added sugar ketchup.
Yeah.
It's 6 calories per 15 grams. Yeah. I was still weighing it out, and I was only having 30 grams. I was like, that's 12 calories. I was like, I don't want to have more than that.
I don't want 13. 13, I'm going to be fat.
So I'd be like, I'm having 30 grams, and that's what I'd have maximum with my first meal, and that was the only meal I'd have it with.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've got to make sure I'm weighing that. And I was even doing that, like, well, to be fair, Shannon still does it now, because she makes that first meal for me. Yeah. And like, I was doing that for ages. Like, whereas now, like, I could easily just be like, I'm going to estimate it's literally like really low calorie, but like I'll still weigh it out just out of habit. I don't need to, but like out of habit, I still do. Yeah. But like probably most people don't, even when they're in a prep, they just think, oh, it'll be close to that. Yeah. No, and like for us, then we're like, I wonder why they're not dropping. Like this week they've not dropped, and it's like, are you actually nailing everything?
Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah, to segue on to, before we do questions, segue on to a bit of a conclusion regarding me, because I didn't actually finish. Everything's good. Body weight's at peak. Feel pretty good. Appetite's alright, as it should be. Got about 8 more weeks left of this push. And then let's see how things feel. Like, I'll pull back, but I don't need to be like, I don't want to be getting like down to 112. Like, I'll naturally just lower food, androgens will come down. Like, I'll pull out things that hold more water anyway, so I'll probably come down to, let's say I get to a peak of like, between now to 130, if I come down to 120, I'll be pretty alright at that, and then that'll probably start another push. There's always a temptation where, like, so I actually feel like I've put on like a good amount of size. Like, I feel like this last push, I'm like, oh, I actually look like a bodybuilder now. Like, I always was pretty okay, but I look around and think, like, I actually could compete soon, and I think I'd be pretty fucking good. But also, it's like time-wise, timescale-wise, and I still need to be bigger. So, like, as much as like I feel like this, I've made like a good amount of progress in this last like 5, 6, 7 months. Like, I feel like it's been really productive. Like, just due to no real holidays, no real change of routine, we've been locked in with gym training, like progression's just like flying. Like, things are in a really, really good spot, but it's like, for me, get down, slight pullback, and then like, if I can get to like, maybe a peak at 130, the next push I get to like 132, 133, 134, whatever, and then just rinse and repeat, and then get myself like lean for next year, so I can kind of stay, 'cause I don't imagine I'll be heavier than like 125 for like probably the entirety of next year, in my head. Like, I don't really want to be, you know, I want to be like close to pulling down to,
and then just be able to like go to a show pretty quickly.
Yeah, so that's probably going to be the plan. So I spend this year slightly chubbier, bigger, stronger. Well, I say stronger, I'll be stronger next year, but relatively speaking in comparison. And then, yeah, next year, most likely just do a pretty aggressive diet. I get lean like pretty easily, get to a point where like my front's like very close, my back's like still a good amount off, and then just hold, because I said this to you on the last podcast we did together, like I can maintain on like 4,500 calories, 5,000 calories and still feel sound. Like, I don't feel like I struggle when I'm like, I think I could be like 8 weeks out constantly and be like, oh, I feel actually pretty good. So get to like 8 to probably 12 weeks out condition, and then just float between like 8 weeks out condition and 16 weeks out condition or 14 weeks out condition, and then like hold there, and then when it's like, when I'm ready to kind of go in, when shows kind of line up, kind of makes sense. But yeah, like I was thinking originally back end of next year, but I also think at the same time, maybe I should do like Universe and some maybe an early 2 bro show next year, depending on how this next like push to then the following one goes, because I don't really feel like, again, if you're to look at like the top end amateurs, I would need to be bigger, but I don't also think I'm miles off. Like, I don't think I need to be like, if you were to say late next year, like, do I need another like 15 months till I'm stepping on stage?
Depends how good you want to be.
Yeah, that's the thing. 'Cause I'm not going to be a fucking pro within my first proper bodybuilding prep. Like, that's not the aim. I mean, maybe a PCA pro. I'd like to win I want to win a British title with PCA, so that would be a PCA pro most likely. But that's not to be like, that's the goal. Like, that's just what I want to do. So, but that being said, do I need to be waiting 15, 16 months, when in reality, like, I think I've put on like the vast majority of my size. Like, I feel like if I was to step on stage next to Guy now, like, I think it would be like a fair bit closer. Like, I think he'd still have, I think he's a lot bigger. I don't think it would be, I think I'd...
When you diet down though, like, obviously you'll be bigger than you were last time, but you're not going to be...
A whole new body.
Not yet.
No.
In maybe like by next year, like you say, maybe like late next year, you probably would be.
Yeah.
But like now, like, yeah, you'd be a lot better.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be like, fucking hell.
No,
like,
and that's sort of the response that you want. You don't want to be stepping on stage and being like, oh, he's a lot better, he's decent, because I know I looked really good last year. Like, I know I did, but like, you want to be like, oh, I don't just want to look like a guy. Like, when people say to me, "Are you doing fucking classic?" I'd be like, no, I want people to know I'm a fucking pretty much like a super heavyweight bodybuilder. Which again, that takes fucking time. So yeah, all is good for me. Life is good. Training's good. I went to Barca last week. Really, really nice place. Finn goes next month for his birthday.
Copied me, didn't
yeah, well, I say copy. It was like somewhere that me and Sinai mentioned, And then you said you were going, and I was like, oh, sound, we'll just, where's okay? And we were like, Barcelona.
I was like, we're going.
You influenced
the day after, you were like, we're going now. Before you, I was like,
sound, yeah. Told Finn all the places to go. I was like, hey, mate.
We haven't spoken about it.
No, it's all right, to be fair. We didn't really do anything other than just walk around. It's loads of little mini streets that just end up where you walk for like, you think it's like anywhere where you don't know it. You think, oh, I'm just going to walk to this place, and it turns out you're walking for like 3 hours.
Okay.
Like, but it's a really nice city.
Though.
Yeah, the architecture's really nice. I feel like as well, the older I get, the more I appreciate stuff like that, because I wouldn't have appreciated it when I was younger. Definitely not.
Yeah, you don't when you're a kid. Like,
no.
I definitely appreciate that stuff now. Like when we go away, like that's what we'll plan to do. Right, we're going to go and look at this building, and then we're going to go and look at that, and like in between, then we'll go get lunch. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's all like it's Gaudi, isn't it? The architect, I think.
Gaudi,
yeah.
Is that saying? Well, is that
Gaudi is the architect.
Is that a trend of art? Like,
no, it's the person.
What, he created it?
I'm sure, yeah. Gaudi inspired, like,
Fair.
or he was the architect for a lot of like the Barcelona architecture.
Okay. Well, I looked, so it was very similar. I doubt anyone's ever been. In Crete, Rethymnon, there is an old town in there. That's where we went in the summer. And it looked like the old town was like a little section of Rethymnon, Crete, where it was like all nice, like very small, like brick buildings with like little shops and little passageways. And Barcelona was literally that, but just like the whole city. Yeah. So, sorry guys, not the mic thing. Don't tell me off.
Start again.
Did Jack Conte.
Cancel it all.
Just
Start the
kept
podcast.
constantly just banging the mic. Sorry guys, banging the table. Jack, please don't do that next time we get you on. We love you, but
Didn't have the balls to tell him.
yeah, we were scared. We didn't want it to drop us. Yeah, it was really nice. Like nice place. We literally just lived off chicken paellas for the entirety.
Paella.
Paella. Yeah.
You're not calling it paella. You're going all out and being Spanish.
Paella.
Paella.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I didn't see Xavi or Iniesta.
What's chicken in Spanish?
Polo.
Yeah,
So-
it's polo. Yeah.
Polo.
Polo paella, please.
Yeah.
Do polo paella.
No, because they ask it.
What's please in Spanish?
God no. Do you know?
No.
What's merci beaucoup? Is that
think
thank you
that's
in
French.
French word? Thank you very much or something. I got chicken paella. Pretty much that's what we lived off, but they're expensive because you have to do they're about like 18
It
to
doesn't
like
look like there
20.
was a lot of chicken.
No,
in
mate,
it.
they're like 18 to like £22 for a single, and you have to get like we were doing threes, and those were triples, so it was £50 for just like the two places we had three, and two of them were like pretty sound, and then one was just like didn't get that much. It was like we got like 3 pieces of chicken, like
Yeah,
to each.
none of them looked like you got
No,
much
we got
chicken.
like it was like we paid £50 for literally maybe 500 grams of rice each and 120 grams of like cooked chicken, but it was nice at least. But it was like a bit disappointing when you look at like the quantity when you're paying that much. Like you'd have to have like if you're a bodybuilder going out there, you need a 3-man if it's 2, and like Sanaya doesn't eat that much because she just eats Oreos constantly walking around and stuff. Which to be fair, like, after the first paella, she was like, "I'm gonna get some Oreos." I was like, "Yes, please do," because the second day I was like, "She won't be hungry for the paella." Like he will, and it worked perfectly. I was like, "You sure you don't want more?" I was like, "Have a few more."
Oh no.
But yeah, no, it was really really nice. So yeah, that was a nice few days. And then that was like pretty much just a line nicely with a little deload. And then other than that, back to the grind, all that sort of jazz. So yeah, life is good. Do you want to get into the questions?
Yeah, we've been on a while.
Yeah, well tell me, 1941. Let's have a look. Let's see. Just got a message. I always get scared, you know, when a client messages you saying like, "Hi Reese," "Hi Finn." I'm like, "Everything okay?" Do you want me to have a deload? It wasn't actually anything major. Did you get any questions today, mate, or not?
That's weird.
What?
NFM UK
Yeah.
have asked me a question. Would you ever do a podcast at a show so winners can join you in that episode?
That's sick. Well, they're asking you. NFM's an untested brand.
I'm the
What does
podcast owner. You're just the sub. You're the
Mate,
you're basically like someone that
Have you
comes on it every week.
have you had an NFM Pro?
No.
I have.
That's nothing to do with the podcast.
It does with me, mate. Honestly, my
People
coaching.
think like, Once You're in podcast, that's Finn's podcast and Reese is on it.
I can't do that. There's Finn's podcast and Reese on it. That's quite cool.
So
NFM, message them and say
NFM,
yes.
NFM, if you're watching, Suki, I think the guy's name is.
Is that Suzuki?
Yeah, sorry, I think it's Suki.
Suzuki's
Well,
what?
that's what, I might be completely wrong, because that's what Owen's called his dog.
It'd be hilarious if it was like Fitex or they're one of their rivals.
No, it is NFM.
Is it?
Yeah. Would you ever do a podcast at a show so winners can join you in that episode?
Yeah.
If you're asking it.
Yeah.
If you want us to do a podcast at your show, mate, then
If you pay us enough,
show us the money.
Yeah, we've got low rates. we don't charge a lot.
Show us the money. It's just basically ask us to come.
Yeah, ask us to come and just give us a platform and maybe like, I don't know, give our clients a few good like results or whatever.
We'd have to take all the mics and stuff. Like, it'd be pretty cool to do a live. We could do like a live. Let's say we did live
Clients would
commentary
come.
on a show.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Clients would come to the show if they knew it was like an in-person.
We should do
podcast.
that. Like, we should create a
Yeah.
live. We should, but we'd create drama. Like, but let's say we went to PCA show and we spoke to PCA and said we're going to do live commentary. We'll stream it for you.
Yeah,
and we're gonna.
they'd say no.
Yeah, I know they would, but.
A smaller, no offence NFM, but obviously you are a little bit smaller. You're still big, like you're still a good federation, really good federation. But a smaller one might be a little bit more receptive to it. I think PCA would probably be like, no, sorry.
Yeah,
you know,
it would
seems
be
like
cool.
two bros. You message them now?
No, message with Shannon.
Oh, fair enough. Right, I got one from Christopher Dolan, says, me. Mate, this isn't a physique, this isn't a rate your physique, bro. And he also put a winky face, bro. This is a question box, please show some maturity. Phoebe Miles, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned her name actually, it's Jacob's girlfriend. She messaged me this on another question one, and I was going to like send her a voice note. What is the best way to support your partner when they're going through prep? Very nice question that, from his girlfriend.
Blowjobs.
The Millie protocol.
Millie Pierce protocol.
The Millie Pierce protocol, 2 weeks out. But she was 2 weeks out. Phoebe is not 2 weeks out.
No, I would say just be understanding.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you can do. Like, when they're maybe being a bit irritable, don't think that they're being rude to you deliberately or that they're just they're a different person. No. If their sex drive isn't the same, I was having a chat with a client today. I was saying, you just need to chat with your partner about it and sort of explain to them, look, it's not that I'm not attracted to you or that I don't love you or anything like that. It's that my body does not want to procreate. That is the last thing
with
it
females,
wants to do.
only with males.
Yeah, I just want to procreate with males.
Yeah.
But no, like, it's like you just need to communicate.
Yeah.
And obviously, if I'm thinking about like things that were really helpful that Shannon did, like helping on show days, like, making sure that you've got everything, because like at that point, like you think you've got everything, but like you could easily forget something. Like, you've forgotten to pack your trunks or something stupid. Like, so just sort of almost being there and just being understanding, I think, is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Don't
press the issue.
Don't be creating more stress when
Yeah.
they're probably already in a stressed state. Don't be then adding on top of that by making out that they're being horrible to you because they don't want to have sex with you and stuff. It's like, imagine as a guy, let's say you're struggling or you can't get an erection towards the end of your prep. Imagine your girlfriend then being like, why can't you?
Yeah.
You don't like me, like you don't fancy me. It'd be like, mate, how hard would that be? You'd be like, look, honestly,
you wouldn't even have the energy to explain.
No, exactly. So yeah, just trying to be as understanding as you can.
Yeah, I'd say as well, like, offer to like help with the little things. Like if he's going for a walk, go for a walk with him. If, let's say, maybe he's going to the gym just to do cardio, maybe say, oh, can I come? Like, you don't have to, but
yeah, I'll go with you.
Yeah,
Can I keep you
tag along?
company? Like,
Yeah,
makes
just-
it go quicker, makes it feel
definitely.
easier.
Or something maybe like, I don't know, like you do get a little bit like anal regarding, not actual anal.
Regarding anal.
Regarding anal, Phoebe.
Maybe a bit of anal.
Phoebe's like, they're both like teens. This is a bit weird for us to say. Sorry. Yeah, they are of age, but they're both teens. So yeah, sorry, Phoebe. Sorry, Jacob. I like you guys. But maybe things like offering to make a meal, or like if he's trained and he's his post-workout meal, like just having a look and saying, "Do you want me to make it for you?" He probably will say, "No, I'll make it," because you do get pretty anal regarding food, not anal. But it could just be a thing of like, "Oh no," or you go, "Yeah, you know what?" Like, actually help. So yeah, just be there, support him. You don't need to do anything because realistically, he's still the same person. He's just a lesser energy version of himself. And I also think from like again. Jacob does seem to be doing quite okay, but this is probably a more broad question. But the most important thing is just genuine communication, like how you are as an individual. If you do not speak, it's only going to get worse. So, yeah. But also accepting as a girlfriend or as a partner, it's not permanent. Like it's not going to be in that position for the rest of their life. It's for, let's say, for Phoebe, you have Jacob who's going to be a little bit lesser energy for the next 8 weeks. 10 weeks potentially. Like once he's done, it's not going to immediately be back to life, but especially as a teen, like he'll probably be feeling really good within a week or two. And for most people, it's like you almost get yourself condensed to being like, I forgot what he's like, I don't even know what he was like before. And it's like, we'll give it a few months, you'll be back to normal, you'll be happy. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking upon.
Teddy Hunniset has asked, how would you deal how would you deal a rotator cuff? Not deal with.
Deal a rotator cuff.
How would you deal a rotator cuff?
Trade my patella.
/ shoulder injury, pull and push affected. So this is literally what I was speaking about earlier. So I will take this question if that's okay.
You should have just said it and been like immediately be like, right, this is what I should do. This is what you should do.
So obviously, I literally was saying earlier about the same kind of thing with myself, and ultimately, like, obviously, clients will have similar issues. People listening to the podcast will have similar issues. Like,
sorry guys,
I don't know, mate. Every time. It's not that hard not to hit it. I never hit mine.
This body weight, bro. I'm just
it's
too clumsy.
big,
I'm just too clumsy. I don't know how big I am. Thanks, sorry. Shit.
But yeah, like, I think that the first thing would be, like, don't let it really get you down. Yeah, like, the last thing you want to do when you've got an injury is constantly think about it, constantly moan about it, constantly think about what you can't do. Like, I'll always say to my clients, focus on what you can do, not what you can't do. So, like, if you can't, let's say, do a certain pushing movement, find one that you can do. And I guarantee there'll be things that you can do. Like, let's say, for example, presses in a more stable environment. If you can't dumbbell press, can't barbell press, do a press in a more stable environment. Presses with less sort of external sort of rotation, so you're sort of tucked in a little bit more, like neutral grip presses, Nautilus presses, not as heavy in the lengthened range. They're heavier in the shortened range where you're sort of structurally in a stronger position and it's safer. Like, these are all things that you need to think about because you can still train. Like, unless you're absolutely battered, like you've broken your arm and you can't train that side, you can still train. You still go and train legs. Like, there's always something you can do. Like, think about all the injuries we've had. Luckily, we've not had anything like a crazy like leg break or anything. But all the injuries we've had, we've never just not trained. We've always been like, this is what I have to do to work around it. And there's been sessions where it's been like, this is a bit annoying. Like,
my push sessions towards last end of last year.
Yeah, exactly. But you still trained push, and you still just did what you could, and you still didn't
really
lose
do much, to be fair.
Yeah, but you didn't lose your head, and you didn't lose muscle from it.
I
You
did
just you just
did
basically
all
had to sort of adjust your training a little bit. So yeah, with rotator cuff work, I'd make like obviously work on the actual issue itself. Like if it's like a completely torn rotator cuff, like obviously you're gonna need to let it recover, get it seen to, do rehab work from whatever a physio says, strengthen up that area. But then in regards to training, like find movements that you can do somewhat comfortably, and it might even just be that you have to do the same movement, three exercises. That's all I can do that feel comfortable. Cool, do 3-4 sets on each of those exercises. Make the most of them. I was saying this to a client the other day. It was on a pull session. He was like, single arm pull down felt good, the upper back row felt good, and the deadlift felt good, but like nothing else felt good. And I was like, well, that's your lats, your upper back, and your erectors and your hamstrings and your glutes. So I was like, so you sound. I was like, let's just do more sets of those if we have to. Yeah. Do 3 sets of a pull down, 3 sets of a row, and 2-3 sets of a deadlift. Yeah. You'll probably have a really good session, and you're not like getting annoyed at the pain. Yeah. But within the moment, it's very easy to just be like, well, this is what my program says, and it's hurting and it's fucking annoying, and then you just get more stressed. So try and sort of take yourself out of that emotional sort of environment, that emotional mindset. Be a bit more rational with your thinking, and just think, right, what can I do rather than what can't I do? Yeah. So if you're just thinking about what you can't do, then it's very annoying.
Yeah. I'd say, as I mentioned, but also she said, like, when it comes to exercises, you could easily do, so let's say that pull session's a bit shit. Instead of doing pull, why don't you do upper, and then do your pulls that you can do, and then you at least can have some fun with upper, and then have like an arm day or something. Yeah. So you can, like, I did that where my push work was shit, so I was like, well, I'm just going to do upper, and then do like the push at the start, and then the second I start to get annoyed and I can't do any more, I'm just going to do pulls, and it would like instantly switch my head off.
I'd be like push and pull affected.
Yeah, but you could do upper collectively and just do the 6 exercises that you can do across the board. Yeah, and be fine, instead of being like, I'm going in for push, but it's a push at 60%. Or pull at 60%.
Do 2 exercises and go home.
Yeah, like literally and then just do 2 upper sessions, do what you can do the same exercises, and then just throw like an arm day on top, or maybe a delta arm day if your delts are fine. Cool, jobs are good. Right, next one. Do you think bodybuilding is becoming too mainstream?
Yes. I was speaking to that girl on the treadmill about that today. I was saying, like...
Speaking to a girl? Sounding about that.
Yeah, I don't worry, I messaged her straight after. I said, I was speaking to a girl on a treadmill, but don't worry, I love you.
Oh,
really sorry, I feel really bad.
Really sorry, I just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, I don't know why I did it.
Yeah.
I can't believe I did it.
Yeah, no wonder you don't want to go home.
I know.
We didn't want to do the podcast tonight, guys. Finn was just like, I can't go home.
I wanted to come to do the podcast.
That's what I mean, yeah.
You've got more questions.
Yeah, you've got any more questions. Right, that's it, guys. No, I've got another question.
No, so, yeah, I was basically like saying to her, like, nowadays, bodybuilding's just become so popular that, like, as soon as people get into the gym, they just think like they've got to compete. And like she was saying about like specific categories, and like people thinking after like 1-2 years of training what category they should be.
Yeah.
Imagine if we thought after a year or two of training what category. I didn't even know about bodybuilding like a year or two into training. Like I knew about people who looked good on social media.
Yeah.
I didn't know about competing or what categories or anything. If someone said to me 2-3 years into training, oh, you should compete, what category would you be? I don't know. I'd be like, I'm not going to compete. I'm just training. Like we said, there was like probably like a good 5 years where we were training. We were like, I'm not going to compete. Like we almost like looked down upon it when we were getting into it because we were like, no, I'm not doing that.
And also, how many people did you know? That you would like that competed in gyms you trained at? Like, and obviously you trained in pure, but like when I used to go to a gym, there'd be like, if a dude walked in who's competed before, it would be like, shit, this guy competes. Like it was rare.
Well, it was like, you know, what's his name? Chris Paling, you know, shredded guy with glutes, shredded glutes. He used to come into Pure Gym now and again, and like it was like, oh mate, like he's shredded. And to be fair, he was shredded. Like his calves were like always peeled when he walked in and stuff. So it was like a massive thing. But like now, like most people that like have trained for a bit of time, they want to compete, and there's pros to it. Like it's great that the sport's getting a bit more,
but you
like,
actually want to compete,
publicity, and it's a little bit more. There is pros and cons to it. It's good because it's a good community to be a part of. It's a good habit to get into. It's a good lifestyle to have. Like not necessarily competitive bodybuilding, but the lifestyle and the habits that it breeds. The sort of mindset and all that kind of positivity that comes from it. But that doesn't mean you have to compete.
No, definitely. It's hard, isn't it? Because like, you know the doctor, Nave's training partner. He did one. He was like, you actually want to like. It was hilarious. The Q&A, guys. If you haven't watched it, please do. Make sure you watch all the What's Training Units. Once you watch them all, then you can watch it. But it was like
you're not allowed to watch any other channel.
Yeah, until you binge watch all our episodes. And he literally was saying like, there should just be a wank category. It's like you're wanked, you shouldn't be competing, but you want to step on stage, cool, step on stage. And I'm not saying again like it's funny because there is actually probably a thought process. There's some people who have no right competing, and I get that people want to do it. But I do think there should be sort of like that you should have to earn your stripes, or at least fall in love with the process, so you don't fall out of the love with the process the second you've actually prepped. Because unfortunately, we know people, we've worked with people like myself and yourself from last year, where a client steps off stage and for whatever reason, might not be just the prep, but it's almost like bodybuilding just goes out their head, and it's like they don't want to train, they don't want to fucking track their food, and they completely go AWOL, and whatever that might have happened eventually. But I'd question they probably wouldn't have got into it if there wasn't maybe the external pressure.
A lot of people that like we've competed against in our earlier years, or people who we know
don't do it
like who just don't do it anymore. Like because they did it one year, their first time, and it was like really, let's say, almost like
a rude awakening.
Yeah, it's almost like a traumatic experience, like for a lot of people.
Yeah. Bodybuilding shouldn't be
as
accepted as I think it is. A very odd and weird sport. It shouldn't be as accepted as it is.
If you think about both of our last preps, if we'd have done that as our first preps, we probably wouldn't want to do it again. If we'd have done it 2-3 years into training, we definitely wouldn't want to do it again.
No
Luckily, we've both been through multiple diets, and we understand what it involves, and like we're willing to take it to that place to get all the way in. Like, but imagine doing that in a first prep, or like imagine doing that at 19.
Yeah, you would literally be like,
I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, exactly. Like the just the mental stress alone afterwards, like the lack of wanting to train. Like we both were like had phobia of training at Premier Gym. We were like, don't want to train there because we did our entire preps there, and it was like we associated that with just like pain and suffering and stuff. And like it's funny, but like if that's if your entire history is just you competing, and it's been like you've bulked for 2 years and you competed. You can probably fuck yourself over, and it's like again, you can happily go to a gym.
Training career is prepping.
Yeah, you can happily train. You can happily do everything a bodybuilder needs to do, but you don't have to get on stage. And you can get lean, you can get big, you can get really lean. But like just the pressure itself of like I was in my teens, very very close to stage condition multiple times. And like I probably was leaner than a lot of people step on stage as a team, and I remember like being battered, like going hypo constantly. I remember like seeing girls and my sex drive was. I remember being like, I'm just dieting too hard. Nothing works. But to me, it was like I was normal with it because I was like, this is what I'm doing. And I still was going on holiday, and I remember like for the first, what we said earlier, the first week of the holiday, I was probably smashed. And it probably wasn't until I actually had some body fat that I felt okay. Went through horrendous eating habits when I was younger, like when I was like 16, 17, 18, I was just fucking binging on Oreos and gaining loads of weight on holiday and stuff like that. But we've made the mistakes and done the shit that people do after a prep. And when you don't have the pressure of competing, when you go on holiday, it's like, if you look fucking shit after a holiday, it's like, I was shredded before, just, time to get back to it. But when you've competed, you've been judged off your look. You might have done well, so you think, I'm the shit, and then you don't look as good, or you might not have done well. Then you add all that in, it's just a concoction for potentially shafting yourself and falling out of love with something that should be positive.
Yeah, I think that's a good point of like, fall in love with the process first before you worry about being competitive at it. And that goes with anything, like anything that you do. Like, if you think like, we wouldn't all of a sudden go and compete in something that we didn't already have like a lot of experience or knowledge in. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be like, I'm going to go and compete in this random contest, like
me in powerlifting.
Yeah, but like that's a bit different because you do train. But like, I'm on about something completely different. Like, let's say that out of the realm of bodybuilding. Like, let's say darts. For example, like darts. Like, I like watching darts, but I'm not very good at it. I wouldn't like. Yeah. Oh, but even then it's a bit different because it's like,
what would be something you'd be quite good at? Like, what would be something if you've got to compete in one thing?
But like, if you go and play darts, you're not having to diet for months on end. It's not really like sacrificing much. You know what I mean? Like, whereas with bodybuilding, like, you are putting yourself at a sort of compromised position in terms of your hormones, your health, like. But yeah, like, for example, if I was to be like, I'm going to go and compete in let's say like esports competition because I've enjoyed playing FIFA for the last month, like, I'm probably going to be shit at it and get smashed. Like, as long as I'm okay getting smashed, that's fine. But again, like, when it's bodybuilding, it's not just, it could be, but it's usually not just, I'm going to go and step on stage.
I have a similar experience to this, actually. Like, I remember like playing COD, and this was like back in the day, way before like I even had Wi-Fi. And I remember like I'd play the campaigns on Veteran, and I was like, I'm the shit. And then I remember going online, and I like got absolutely destroyed for the first time, and it gave me an incentive to want to do better. But other people could be like, fuck this, like, I'm not playing that. I remember playing against like some older lads at FIFA on like FIFA 06. They battered me like 5 or 6-0, and at that time I was like, you guys are cheating. Fuck you guys. Doing long shots with Michael Ballack from the halfway line, they're just looping over my goalkeeper's head. And I was like, this is shit, fuck this game. So you guys are cheats, but in reality it was just so much better than me. Yeah. And you don't realise, but again, you get into it too early, you take too much of a step. You ain't gonna enjoy it.
Like, all of that, what you just said there, like, that's just a game.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding is like a lifestyle, isn't it, really? It's like, you're not just going to the pub and playing darts in a local tournament.
I'd love to go to the pub.
You're prepping, like, we'll go after this.
Yeah.
You're prepping.
Open, actually. Yeah, Welsome. Yeah, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays.
Yeah, we'll get down.
Yeah.
You're prepping for, like, let's say 6 months plus, maybe. You invest in a lot of time, money, etc. Like, a lot goes along with it. So, like, if you're not really set on it and you don't really love it, then just wait.
Yeah. Right, next one. Most entertaining guest so far, and anyone else you want on soon. Entertaining, so that's not the best, because if you had said best, we'd be like, we wouldn't be able to pick. It's like picking between our kids. We don't have favourites. It's the slag. The door's the slag. Who would you say?
Kids. Most entertaining.
I like the ones with Josh. Josh is entertaining.
Josh or Jack.
Yeah, Josh is probably the most similar to us, I'd say. Jack's similar to us, but he's a bit more dry, isn't he? Like, Josh is very like us banter-wise.
Jack's fine when he comes out of his shell.
Yeah,
like, he just takes him like 10 minutes.
He gets quicker now, I think. Like, when we first met him, it was like 20. He used to say like a few sarcastic digs.
Really awkward, and then he'd be alright.
Yeah, like my mum's impression of him is like, he's nice, but he's very quiet and respectful. I'm like, no, that's when he's like a bit scared of you. Yeah, once he actually owes you, he'll be sound. But yeah, Jack and Josh I think are good. Entertainment wise, like I think one of the best ones knowledge wise was the one we did with Kes last year. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good one. Like, I like the one with Matt. I like all the ones. We haven't really had one where it was like,
we've said that haven't before. Yeah. There's not been one where we've not uploaded, or one where we've been like, oh god, that was awkward. Like,
yeah, we don't get people on that we assume that to be. And also we have said, if we were to, we'd end up just like, guys, if we ever have a guest and you can tell the vibe is great, we'll probably just start taking the piss out of, like, maybe not them entirely.
No, but we just
the situation.
Make it a laugh, wouldn't we? Like, and if they're like really weird about it, it'd be funny anyway. Because people that have our humour and watch the podcast would be like, the guest did not like the humour.
Yeah.
Am I not allowed to ask it?
You go then, mate. Sorry.
Thank you. Butcher's wet dream. Who's winning the league? I want one word or one team, and I'll say the same, or I'll say my answer, and then we're done.
Okay.
We're not discussing it because people don't like football.
Okay.
We're going to do a separate. Football
OYIYI
channel.
full time.
Yeah.
Right,
Although you hated that, and now everyone loves it.
3, 2, 1. City.
Arsenal.
When are City dropping points? Spurs. You really think they're going to?
I'm just saying it because I want Arsenal to win it.
I think Arsenal are the best team structurally.
We said we're not going to do it.
Okay, right. Question for the pod. Going on a pilgrimage for 24 days in July will be almost impossible to go to the gym during that time. What would you recommend during to maintain as much muscle mass as possible? For example, are bodyweight exercises worth doing? Would you eat in a calorie deficit, maintenance or slight surplus? Any tips would be appreciated.
Good question.
Yeah, very good question from one of my old clients.
So I would, first of all, prior to it, I would be in a surplus. I would put on a little bit of extra body fat if you know that maybe food's going to be a little bit more difficult or you're going to be out of routine. Obviously, you're not going to be training. I'd get a little bit softer before you go. Not crazy, but then you can almost like have it as like a phase where you're just aiming to maintain. Like you're not trying to be in a strict diet, but you're probably going to lose a touch of weight. I've got a client in like a similar scenario where he's like going away to like a training camp for like I think he'll away for like a month or so. So I said to him like, right, let's get a bit soft. He says like when he goes, like they're given food, it's like meal replacements whenever they're allowed it. It's like a proper like intense training camp. So like, well, let's get pretty heavy beforehand then.
Yeah.
Like get yourself some extra body fat, use it as a bit of a diet, and then when you come back, we'll just start a push-up
You'll
again.
be hungry.
Yeah.
You'll
Whereas with this, for example, obviously you might have a little bit more control over it, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't be trying to be in a deficit. I would say that like some form of body weight exercise would be worth it. I wouldn't do nothing for a month.
I wouldn't not move.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be like, oh, I've got to do this specific session.
No.
But like I'd probably have some form of like full body routine or a lower and upper kind of routine where you can do some pull-ups, some push-ups, maybe some form of like split squats, some ab work, planks, etc. Yeah. You can create a decent stimulus to preserve muscle, eat enough protein, and eat at maintenance or a slight surplus. You're not going to lose loads of muscle. You won't look as good. You might sort of lose a little bit of size, sort of some cell swelling, but like it's not going to be where you just lose all your muscle and you're not going to get it back. Yeah. But if you eat in a deficit and don't train at all for those 3 weeks, you're going to look pretty shit, and it'll take a lot longer to sort of get back to where you want to be.
Yeah, I'd say the last thing you want to do is deficit. Like, keep yourself in a somewhat of a surplus or a very moderate like maintenance. Body weight will probably come down just due to things coming down anyway, but yeah, not ideal. But this client is somebody who also goes through Ramadan, so like, Mo, do you fancy just like actually sticking to something for a year about losing muscle? Like, it's like Ramadan, like literally into this. Like, bro, are you trying to actually look good this summer, bro? I'm just
religion's more important than bodybuilding.
No, Ramadan's important, but like pilgrimage, like, that's self-choice in it. Like, he's not like he's been like signed up and it's like, you know, you've been called up for the army and you're like, oh, here we go, bro, you're going away. You're what, mate?
Tyler Ragg, exciting guest. Hopefully it's Yemi.
Great.
Would like to see a 1v1 on Rust to settle with Reese.
Yeah, but you ever do any 1v1s on Rust?
Yeah, mate, it's pretty good.
What, quick scopes?
Yeah, quick scope, no scope.
Okay.
360.
Yeah. Did you? What did you use? I bet you like pulled out the Barrett and just started spamming.
Mate, what did I use? I don't know.
You don't. If you're saying good,
I've not done this
intervention.
For like 15
sniper,
years, 10 years.
Surely you would remember the gun though, like interventional Barrett 50 cal. Because
maybe the Barrett one. I don't know.
That's all. That's the one where you don't have to, do the. You just go.
Mate, I don't know. I'm not that sad. I just did it a few times.
So you can't be that good then.
No, I'm not. I'm jokingly saying I was good. I'm not like you and really sad and played it for like years and got really fat, eating loads of food, played it. I used to have a life.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. not losing eye contact. No answer. You just like first. You got me. You got me, bro. I actually got I got 2 questions, and I wasn't going to say it about the drama. It really wasn't questions. It was just like, any more detail? No, I feel like I answered it well enough on the stories. I think it's very easy at times to see like the amount of messages that I've got off said individual and a few other people in that kind of group chat, and also how things are. Like, I think it's obvious that it's pretty clear how people are social media wise, and I think it's very easy to spot somebody who maybe isn't like. I'm not saying in it for the right reasons, but probably just has a bit too much time on their hands. And it's like, it's a shame, but like I said on the story, I couldn't care. You can comment on what I do, that's cool. But it gets to a point with people and it's like, oh, I can't not say anything. I'm not just going to sit there but also I genuinely don't really give that much of a fuck. We were saying it's not a big deal. Like, it wasn't like it was a massive drama. It was just somebody doesn't like me. Cool, you know.
I was saying the other day, it's like, it is what it is. It
Yeah.
really doesn't matter.
No.
Like, people like drama on social media, so it seems like a big deal. But like, even
It's
next time that
nothing.
you see him, it'll be like, yeah, let's just leave it. Like,
Yeah.
it won't be like a massive issue.
It's not going to be where like we throw
It doesn't
hands.
need to be, does
But
it?
I will also vouch. I will say my thoughts regarding. I think it's incredibly fucking sad and it's embarrassing. And that's cool. But at the same time, I'm not going to be like, I don't like you. It's like, cool, you can dislike me. I couldn't care. I think it's weird. I really don't, and you're probably the same. I don't ever really like view people as like. There's a few people that I'm like, they're really nice. They're sound. Most people, I'm just like, yeah,
Just a person.
just a person. And I think again, it's sad because like, I think a lot of people view in a bad way, like he's a dick, he's this, he's that.
I think a lot of people like
Just-
need that sort of gratification, and they need to know if they're liked.
Yeah,
Whereas like for us, like,
just couldn't care.
yeah, and not in a bad way, just in a way of like, some people will like what we do and some people won't, and that's fine. Some people will get our sense of humour, some people won't. Some
Yeah.
people will take us too seriously,
Yeah.
and it's all fine. Like, there's some people on social media that I don't really vibe with, but I would never say anything
Have an issue
horrible
with
about them
them, yeah.
or tell them I don't like them.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less. They're doing their thing. But there's people who we maybe just don't really like their content. Not that there's anything wrong with their content.
I don't
just not
dislike
to
the
our
person.
taste.
I just don't like the content that you
So
see.
we don't follow or maybe comment on it because we're just not bothered. You know what I mean? Like,
But
there's
I
loads
think-
of people
yeah,
out there
but
that would probably like that.
Yeah, 100%. But then there's like, I think it's one of those where we don't. Again, we've said this multiple times, but like, we will never send. I've never sent anybody's training clips to Finn or a reel to Finn, like unless it's away from bodybuilding and it's humorous. But like, I've never like disagreed with anything so much to
No,
comment
we
on
would never like go behind their backs. And the thing is, as well, everything that we say, we always say on here, like, we would joke about that with that
in
person.
person. Yeah.
And we always have.
Yeah.
Like, there's never something that we've said on here where we wouldn't joke about it with that person,
Yeah, in person.
to their face.
Yeah.
And we have joked about it with them to their face.
Yeah.
Like, we'd never say something really like sneakily behind someone's back. Like, oh, that's a dig. Like,
Yeah.
no, we're saying it because we're probably relatively close with them,
Yeah.
and we've joked with them before.
Yeah.
So
And then if you
like-
get offended by what you say, what we say, it's
Which,
like,
to be fair to Yemi, he has said stuff to you in person. It's not like
yeah,
he's,
no,
it's not like
definitely
everything's
not.
been
No,
behind your back.
no, definitely not. Like he said enough to me in person, but it's more so a case of like I said in the story when it's like I feel like when it's like a few comments, fair enough.
Yeah, when it's
but like
a lot.
even like to probably last month, we were both like, is he still going on? Like we were almost a bit like, is this a bit of a joke? Like he's still going on. And the saddest thing is, and this is something that I actually I spoke to Sonara about the first time. So like we thought, I think I said it to Finn as a joke when he was mentioning my rose. We thought he was being cool.
We thought he was like
it was.
joking.
We even mentioned it on the podcast, like, sorry, Yemi, about the rose. We thought he was being cool, and it was just because I've known him. Like, I remember Yemi coming up to me in 2022. So this was after he got like
Well, it's
second.
true,
No, before. This was like when he got like second or third in a novice, like a few weeks before. He was slightly out of shape, like in comparison to how he looked at the pro qualifier. But like, I remember he came up to me and he messaged me like a week ago saying, "You've got really good potential." He said something like, he was really nice. Came up to me and I gave him a fist bump. He was disappointed, and I literally like introduced himself. I said, "Oh, how you doing, mate?" Had a chat. He was like, "Oh, I really like." I don't know if he said I really like stuff, but it was like along that like we followed each other for a few
You think
weeks.
everyone said it?
He did though. He did. He messaged me like a few weeks back saying, "I think you've got wicked potential and something like that." And then he won his. He showed me how he did, and I was like, "Oh mate, you look class. Like you look really good." He then signed with a coach, won his pro card, and I remember when I saw it, I was so happy for him. I was like, "Sick." This is a guy that I spoke to a few weeks back at a show. He's really sound. Like he introduced himself. He's really respectful. And then you see something like that, like a year and a half later, and it's like. Sound. It is what it is. It's a bit of a shame, but it's more so a shame because you can't control how people think, and that's the sad reality. But also at the same time, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. People aren't going to like me. People might not like Finn.
And also, there'll be a lot more stuff than that goes on
Definitely.
behind loads. Everyone's back,
Yes.
not just ours.
No,
loads
definitely.
of people. Like,
Yeah, that's
it's
the
just
scary
world we
thing.
live
If it's
in.
in a public, that's in a public place.
Yeah.
Imagine the stuff they're saying in fucking group chats and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
But as I said, usually you see why. There's a lot of things in social media, followers, content, income, clients, all that sort of stuff. Usually the ones that are chatting shit, there's a reason why in comparison, and that's when you actually compare it. You go, okay, yeah, sound. I don't really give a fuck.
Just let people do what
Yeah,
they want to do.
let people do what you do. Focus on
I think as
yourself.
well, like, just a final point on this, we'll move on.
Yeah.
But like, it's like at school, you know, like at school.
I felt
when,
like I was at school.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna
what I
say,
felt.
like, it feels like you're at school when like someone's getting picked on, or like someone's being bullied or you're picking on someone, and it's like you grow out of that. Like I used to be a dick to some people at school, and like now if I was to see them, I'd be like, sorry, like there was points where I was a dick and I was joking, like it was a joke, but also you take it too far. Yeah. And that's literally all this is. Yeah. It's a bit of a joke, but it's gone to the point where it's like it's just a bit of an annoying joke now, and also it looks a bit sly, like. Yeah. But it's the world we live in, unfortunately. And like again, like I've always said this as well, like you know, like growing up in school, it's like, oh, like he's really hard. Like we all grow out of that. Like if you're hard if you're like 30 years old and you're like, oh, he's really hard. What? That's embarrassing. You're not hard. You're just a twat. And you're probably in prison. Like that's not. He's really hard. You're just an idiot. Like,
and that's not about.
Yeah, oh no, that's not.
Yemi is 30, by the way, acting like this. So we will just preface
that's nothing to do with that.
That was but you do. You get to
things that you grow out of.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not even like nothing that's to do.
But I feel like again, we again, final point. We live in such a bubble that when stuff like this happens, it's like I literally felt like a kid. I was like excited. I remember saying to them, I was like, this feels like I'm a fucking 12-year-old because I'm like, you just get this boyish like, oh, he doesn't like me, and in reality, it's like because we just do what we do. You forget that people have these opinions.
Like, it's not as if it's much like anything new.
Nah, definitely not.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not. You just outed it because it was in like a chat with people.
It's like, here we go.
It's not anything new.
No. See the Conte chat, fucking hell.
Which is what I mean. Like, he does it in person or to you. It's not like he's been like really sly.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Just comes across as a twat. So.
Right. How many you got?
How sad is it watching Klopp's last season and not come to much and Salah's situation from a Man United fan? Not really that sad. Liverpool were running off pure vibe. Structurally, I don't think we were ever as good as the other teams. It's a shame. It would have been really cool to have seen. But when you're running off vibes and lack of structure, it potentially could go pop. And Liverpool have a history of, if it goes bad, it goes really bad. Salah's, I think it's coming out that we're keeping him. I wouldn't be for or against that. If a big offer was to come in, I'd be like, potentially getting sold because you're probably not going to get that money back. I also think as well, pace-wise, he looks like he's had like a Sadio Mane 2.0, where he's like, looks like he can't run as much. Doesn't look as good. But I also wouldn't be... Yeah, Finn's a Salah hater. Would you sell him if a £100 million offer came in? What would be the least amount you take?
60.
Yeah, I think 60. Anything north of, like, for me, 80. I think you get 80 for his name. But I also wouldn't be against keeping him, but at his age, could you bring in, like, Leroy Sané, you know, for the same money? Maybe. Or someone in that sort of ilk, you know, Elise. And we've been linked to Somerville as well, you know, from Leeds. And then, like, Rodrigo apparently could be sold. Imagine Rodrigo, that'd be cool. Other than that, that is all my questions. If Finn was on gear, who would be the better bodybuilder? Well, I was better than that. I had more muscle, and to be fair, until I got fucking massive, I had actually a small waist, but now I'm too big and my waist is shit. So,
yeah, I'd be better for the first few months until I got too big as well. Yeah, I'd be just too big.
I peaked at like after 3 months of being on gear.
No, to be fair, like when we were both 9, like you had more muscle and were stronger.
Yeah.
But you weren't 9 then, were you? You were a big
on gear. Like
right, come 16. On, I've got 2 more. I'm ready to go.
You go, mate. I'm done.
Lee MCG.training, the would you rather sit on a cake and eat a dick or the other one?
We said, didn't we?
I can't remember what we said.
I said sit on a cock because at least I get something. Like you don't get any benefit from sitting on a cake. And I'd rather eat a cake than fucking eat a dick. So it's like, well, I've dick on my ass sound.
Yeah, it's normal.
Yeah, you said 2 dicks, didn't you?
I think I said I'd rather sit on a dick and eat a dick, and then I was like, apparently that's not in the question. So I'd like a different question, please.
Yeah.
Is that an option? Like, I'll take that. Yeah.
Choice of dicks. Any.
Yeah.
Any guys.
As long as it's not cake.
Someone's watching. Going, I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't like cake.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of cake. Like,
no.
If someone says to me like, "Do you want a cake?" I'd be like, "Not really." And then if like, "Do you want a cock?" I'd be like, "Yeah."
Well, I like mine.
I'm not like. I don't dislike cock.
You know. Fair enough.
Last one. Can you explain L-glutamine and why/how to implement?
Just have it if you need it. It's not
good answer, mate.
Okay, right. Simple answer because we need
podcast.
to go. If you really want to take it. Maybe take it pre or intra-workout. You really don't need it. I don't think you need it, so therefore it's probably saving money. And also Conte don't do it. So if it's not from Conte, it's not worth it.
I would say...
You've supplemented in the past with you, haven't you?
No.
I thought you had it.
Only within, like an EAA. I've not had it specifically on its own.
Yeah.
If you're having essential amino acids, it'll be within there anyway because it is an essential amino acid. You're going to get it within your diet anyway through essential amino acids within your protein. There's evidence on it, I'm pretty sure, in regards to like helping like injury, like recovery time of injuries and trauma and like burn victims. So if you've been burned, then no, seriously, like I remember I've had a client ask me this before, and I remember did a bit of research on it, and I was like, I remember sending them their check-in and saying, I was like, if you've recently been a burn victim, then yeah, let's add it in. I was like, but otherwise, just stick to what you've got within your diet. So yeah, I wouldn't be looking at like having a higher dose. There's not really much evidence on it in terms of actually like helping with like anything in regards to bodybuilding goals. Like it's not going to mean you build loads more muscle. It's not going to mean you recover loads quicker or anything like that. I think it can help with digestion potentially, but again, not so much that it's like, oh, your digestion's not good, you need L-glutamine. Yeah, so if you have any AAs or you want to have it within your supplement stack, have any AA. But I wouldn't be, again, unless you've recently had a traumatic injury or you're a burn victim, you probably don't need it. At least you don't need to add an extra sort of supplement on top of it, you know, having it in isolation.
Yeah, good answer. We need to do a supplement tier list, like best and worst.
L-glutamine, if you're a burn victim, number one.
Yeah, we'll have a separate one, burn victim.
Sorry to any burn victims.
Yeah, we'll find like things that, you know, like there's small caveats to where it's actually like somewhat beneficial.
You know, the Yihimbine reel that I did?
Yeah.
And I put about penile girth.
Yeah.
It's a small increase in penile girth.
Did you say that on the video? Did you say that on the reel?
No. I said it helps like relieve male sexual dysfunction. I was like, there's potential benefits there. Like, so if you wanted to use it from
it was implemented like initially. I think,
as like a Viagra kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it was like it branched off like Cialis or something down that sort of mechanism. So. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how like penile stuff works relative to like pumps and blood flow and like fat oxidation and stuff.
That's all it is, really, isn't it? Blood flow to the cock.
Blood flow to the cock, yeah.
Good way to end the podcast.
Yeah, hope everyone enjoyed the conversation of blood flow to the cock.
With a title,
blood flow to penis.
No.
What about no penis enlargement podcast? That's going to be good for views. Sam, you've got some good ideas here. Right guys, there we go. The camera cut out for the final time. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed. It's been a decent one, just me and Finn. We've got a good guy in. Oh, giving it away, it's a guy. Sorry.
Guy Hardy.
Guy Hardy, yeah, talking about how he somehow beat me in awful condition, or worse condition. He was in good condition.
He definitely should have beat.
Yeah, he should have beat me. He was better than me. But not next time, bro, as confirmed by his comment, saying he was scared to compete against me, bro. He'd still beat me.
That was a good comment, my comment.
What was it?
You put up a post saying like, what do you do if you see this guy backstage? Like, tell him that he's about to get beaten by a guy.
Yeah, that was a good comment. The best one was bad day to be a 10-year-old. That was a great comment. So yeah, that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please tag us in stories, give us a share. Anything you guys want to see, let us know. All that sort of stuff. Like I said, next week we've got a good guest, and the podcast is always continuing to level up. We've got 2 bro shows this weekend to have a chat about. We've also got a PCA show that Jamie Harrison is doing both. So Jamie, in advance, even though this won't be out before, congratulations on your overall sword of the PCA. There is not going to be a single bodybuilder who's going to be beating you unless that my dog is a PT guy jumps in, but you're a fair bit better than him. So yeah, he's won the overall, so we're going to be talking about that definitely. And then yeah, we got some good content coming out. So hopefully everyone's enjoyed. Any questions, always please get them through. Clothing is coming out for the 1,000th subscriber. We said it, 1,000 subscribers, we're going to do some clothing. We're going to make it, we're going to set a pact and do it. So yeah, please subscribe. But other than that, hopefully everyone's enjoyed. See you later, bye bye.